Good morning, this is Jack from theartofchart.net, and this is the pre-market recording for Wednesday, the 10th of June. Our disclaimer, we do this for educational purposes only. We're here to share a technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. We're not here to issue trading signals. Right. Now, it looks like a flag is forming here. This could be a head and shoulders, gone a little high overnight. I'm not really expecting this head and shoulders to break out because, of course, we have FOMC today, and FOMC tends to give a bit of a bullish undercurrent to everything. If that wasn't the case, I've said leaning towards seeing at least some more downside. Are we going to see that? I'm not sure we are, but we might. We are still on a 60-minute sell signal on ES. We're still on a 60-minute sell signal on NQ. I'll be talking more about that because NQ finally reversed its underperformance yesterday and actually outperformed, and so we are actually pretty close to the targets I've been looking at. If we didn't already have a sell signal fixed on NQ, another one would be brewing here, and I'm wondering whether we might see that deliver, although the standard FOMC bias is bullish up into FOMC, and we may well see that. RTY. RTY, we have come down and we've obviously made the sell signal target already, and we've come down and we've made it to the rising support trend line. That may well be support. Possible head and shoulders forming there too, of course. YM, possible head and shoulders forming again. Not close to the rising support at the moment. Might need a touch of that, we'll see. DAX has made it to the rising support trend line, and that's holding so far. Made the sell signal target. ESTX made the sell signal target as well. Made it down to the weekly pivot. Possible double bottom forming here. I'm keeping an open mind on direction. What I would say is, in terms of the signal set up here, if it wasn't for the factors FOMC today, I would be expecting to see more downside. These sell signals here, 15-minute sell signals, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this is the 9th on this chart, which goes back like 2 months. It's and actually, I'm not even sure it's that much. Yeah, 2 months. Okay. The previous 8, all of them made target. 2 of them only made the possible near-miss target, this one here and this one here, but nonetheless they made the possible near-miss target. All the rest of them made the full target, and this one has not reached either. This could well be a flag forming. If it wasn't FOMC today, my natural impulse would be expecting to see a move down to at least the 3180 area to finish setting up a bull flag. We could nonetheless still see that. We will see. On Dow, I've got a nice looking channel here, and the obvious next target is very much channel support in the 26,600 area. Is it going to reach it? Looks tough, but it still might. Possible head and shoulders forming, which could deliver us there. We will see. Now, I want to talk about NDX because I've mentioned a few times that the main trend line target we've got here on the upside is this NDX. Rising megaphone resistance trend line, and that obviously I was expecting that initially to be reached on if things had continued at the same speeds. I was thinking that would probably be reached when SPX got it up into the 3100, 3150 area. And that didn't happen because NDX started underperforming seriously, and it's been underperforming for about a week and a half. And yesterday that changed. SPX went down slightly, NDX went up. That has actually got us fairly close to the target. I'm thinking that target is in the 10,120 to 130 area, maybe, possibly as high as 10,150. But when we reach that, then we're reaching a major resistance trend line. Now, obviously, again, NDX can be slower, can be faster than SPX. It's usually been faster, but actually much of the last couple of weeks it's been slower. We will see what happens there, and it's obviously a megaphone resistance. It could overthrow. But as soon as we get to that trend line, as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking for a high. I've been concerned about when it would reach that trend line. I've been wondering whether we would reach an SPX all-time high in order to reach that trend line. But basically, as soon as we hit that trend line, we're in the zone, and we're getting pretty close to it. NDX this morning is at 10,038. It's getting close. It's got a higher high coming on SPX, ES, most of the others, but it may not be much of a higher high. As soon as that reaches target on NDX, I'm significantly looking for a high, and we could turn right there. So we will see. Okay, looking at other instruments here, DAX. DX has got down to a very significant area at 96. Why is it significant? Because it is the 50% retracement of the move that went from a significant low a year and change ago to the high, which was at 103.8, 103.9. So why is the 50% area significant? Well, it's because if we're forming nested double tops there, then it's the 50% retracement between back to the main double top support. If we are going to set up nested double tops, i.e. set up a rally which then got back to the 103.9 area and then failed back down, then setting up a perfect nested double top setup, this would be the ideal place to do that from. Now, I'm skeptical about the bicycles here. This bicycle's been on for a very long time, and while it hasn't failed, it hasn't actually delivered any upside. But we've had another one fix here, which we'd still be on, and we've got a weak one fixing here. We've got plenty of divergence here, and looking at the EUR/USD chart, this is a nice looking potential double top. This is another potential 60-minute sell signal brewing. I'm wondering whether we might be able to see a reversal. GBP looks less ready, and the obvious next target is this trendline resistance up here in the 1.287 area, and we've got no current negative divergence. So, but I'm thinking we may well be topping out on euro, bottoming out on the DX, and we could see a big rally here. So waiting to see whether we get that. USD JPY testing the monthly pivot, 60-minute buy signal fixed, and we've gone lower since then, but with on increased positive divergence. So this may well reverse back up here. USD CAD, no current sign of reversal. We're finding possibly establishing some kind of a floor here. Not much to say on the bull side until we break over this declining resistance trend line at 1.35. Australian dollar, possible double top forming here. We are testing the annual pivot, which is big resistance. NZ USD not far below the annual pivot. Don't have a clear trend line set up here at all. No current negative divergence. All right, let's have a look at ZB. ZB, I've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing here, possible slightly asymmetric double top or beginnings of a head and shoulders forming here. We could see a reversal or a retracement here. And if we were to see a breakback below the monthly pivot, I'd be looking really for a move back to the 173 area approximately. CL. CL, this looks like a back test, pretty close to rising support, test of the week pivot, likely to need another test of this high. I have very big resistance, a very big level in the 42 area to 42.3 approximately. I'm wondering if we're going to go there and test that and see our reversal there. That could set up some decent negative divergence as and when we get there. NG. NG has done the lower low as expected. No positive divergence there, but obviously we're not going to get any. We could be reversing straight here. Let's see if this breaks above the weekly pivot and establish resistance in the 1.87 area. Possible low, I am still concerned about a possible retest of the 2020 low in the 1.52 area. GC, nice reversal back up here. We do have a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. This might need a retracement back to form an IHS right shoulder, which is clearer on silver. Where we obviously reached the a possible IHS level. We could be looking at a reversal back up and back down into the 17.65 area. We'll see how that goes. HG has broken my resistance trend line. Don't have an obvious resistance level for it at the moment. We'll see how that goes. Hang on, wait a second. Let me just check something. Wait a second. I do have a possible channel resistance target. We weren't close to it last time I looked. We're close now. Might be heading up towards that. I do have possible resistance in the 2.75 area, I think, and we may well be. We're going to reach that. KC. KC looks like a bear flag. Should retest this low. I'm leaning towards seeing that. Could see a higher high over this high before we do that if we've got a flag channel forming. SB. SB, we had a nice little head and shoulders. It broke down. It's rejecting back up into the high. I'm expecting to see that high retest, and that could be the second high of a double top. There is some indication here, and there's 60-minute sell signal fixed already. CC, pretty close to retest of this high. As long as we're holding weekly pivot and monthly pivot support, there's no reason this cannot go higher. Wheat. Wheat, this looks like it wants a retest of this low. It doesn't have to do that immediately, but I think it's likely to be soon. Corn, I'm a bit concerned about the possible 60-minute buy signal brewing here. Otherwise, really leaning lower towards a retest of this low. Not necessarily in one bite, however, of course. Soy, looks like it wants a short-term retest of this high. Bigger picture, I'm still leaning towards this being an overall bear flag forming. Live cattle, still a perfect bull flag channel. It's and I'm leaning towards it being a bull flag channel. So sooner or later, I'm expecting this to retest, move up and minimum retest this high. Lean hog still working on the double bottom, making progress towards double bottom resistance, but without any great enthusiasm. Okay, questions, guys. What do we got today? Palladium. Palladium looks like an overall bull flag forming, leaning towards it being one. Next, any more questions? All right, I'll be watching all carefully today. I'll be watching very carefully today. If we see a move down initially, which we're not necessarily going to, but the obvious sequence really on SPX would have us moving down to about the 3180 to 90 area. If we see that, we could see a really nice low, which could take us up into a retest the high. If we see that move, I'm going to be watching for it, and I'm going to be calling it. Otherwise, I don't think there's going to be an awful lot happening today before FOMC. I suggest people stay out of it unless they see something particularly attractive while FOMC is happening. I'm not expecting the Fed to announce a great deal. It may become clearer that they've been making statements along the lines of, if there is an economic contraction, obviously there is an economic contraction, then they're not really in a position to help much with that. And if that becomes clearer, then we could see a move down in response to that. But the main thing I'm going to be watching here is NDX. If NDX actually outperforms today, it could make that target today. In which case it's possible we could see a high today. Now, I'm not really seeing the daily negative divergence for that on the SPX chart, and I'm leaning towards the process taking a bit longer, but I'm watching this trend line here. And if we hit that trend line, then we're in the potential high area. And I would be correspondingly cautious. We will see. All right, guys, catch you on Twitter feed later. I will, and it should be an interesting day. We'll see what happens on FOMC. All right, cheers.